Not the most spectacular of sunrises, but hey, it works. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to November 2021 Clip Trip. As you may have figured out over the last couple of weeks, you're seeing a lot of content that has been recorded beforehand and uploaded to the ScrewTube platform, just in case some of my content incurs and that I can't upload anything for a few weeks. So today is technically the 20th. You're going to be obviously watching this much later in a week or so. So thank you for joining me on a clip trip, eh? So the videos you're going to see are going to be chronologically from the beginning of November until last day or so. And I'm also going to throw in some other stuff. Well, I've been contacted by several people concerned about our well-being up here in the Chicolton that may or may not be aware of literally how big our province is. Yes, indeed, several hours to the south, those folks down there in the Fraser Valley and Lillooet and Merritt area have been inundated with an incredible amount of rainfall that's resulted in flooding. In the Fraser Valley, particularly, large swaths of farmland have been put underwater. And I'll throw in a little bit of video of that here off to the side. And you can see that's a pretty fucking vast amount of flooding, eh? But as it were, that area at one point in time, up into the 1920s, was Sumas Lake. So they drained that lake so that they could put in some farmland and some infrastructure and housing and whatnot. And they do have a pretty neat little pump system that keeps that from flooding, because if they didn't pump it all the time since the 1920s, it would look like that all the time. The lake would come back. So that lent itself to panic buying, and I'll throw some video that my wife took when she was in town. And that will show you that the shelves were picked bare by those that, I don't know, me, instead of we. But what can you do? Way to do me and laugh it off.
Okay, so now we're in the produce. Some stuff. Salad section. Oh, we might have mushrooms left. We'll see. No, not really, just the big ones. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Tomatoes, none. None.
Mysteries in the Chicolton on my property. I do not eat these cookies. There are no cookies such as these in my house. None of my friends have these cookies in their possession. But somehow a half-eaten Oreo cookie is found its way on my property. Truth is out there. Over the years, over the decades, one of the jobs that I held was working in security, and that entailed working in numerous nightclubs, bars, and adult entertainment establishments. In all those years, I was somewhat privy to the abuse of many drugs and chemicals. Take, for example, the decade of the 90s, when raves were very popular. You literally had hundreds of thousands of young people around the world going to tens of thousands of raves, supplementing that experience by using drugs. Some of these drugs had adverse effects. Ask yourself, when in your life have you ever seen the proliferation of so many heart issues amongst young people. I ask, what is it going to take for you to wake up, to understand the levity of the situation that we find ourselves in? When they administer experimental drugs to the age demographic between 5 and 11, and those children start having adverse effects. They start having heart attacks and strokes and blood clots. When their hearts explode in their little chests, what will your excuse be then? What will it take for you to get up and fight for what's right? Sure is pretty, but it doesn't do much for riding. Well, this is the second actual substantial snowfall that's happened in November. It's middle of November right now, the 15th. Had a couple of dustings in the end of October, but it didn't stick. It's getting big, eh? Definitely has the shepherd coming out in her. Of the three siblings, Lindsay and Nova kind of look like each other. A little more different snout shape and whatnot, size. Wow, looks like a little wolf. Nova! Today is the 16th, just for some context. You folks will have watched my Chili Boo update video, but we have a bit of an issue because of the winds and the snowfall the last day or two. A 30-foot section of fence that is down, so we're going to try to prop it up. Gorgeous day in the Chicolton, just part of month-end clip trip update. All right. And before I go, I'll leave you with these little tidbits of information. It is quite apparent to anyone that has an iota of critical thought that those countries that have higher numbers of their population that have been jabba-jabbaed, they seem to have a higher case number as well. For example, you can look at the country of Israel, you can look at the country of Gibraltar. Another example of this was back in the middle of November, there was a military exercise here in Canada that involved a platoon of soldiers and a bunch of civilian assets were also involved. I wonder what the civilians were doing. Maybe being actors? But I digress. A large number of military and civilian people all were participating in a military exercise. Everyone that was in this exercise was double vaccinated. Almost 1,000 people in total participated. Several members of the population that participated, as well as several members of the military and the family members of said groups, have all contracted COVID. Reminds me of that satanic concert that happened in Houston earlier in the month, where there was young people having their hearts explode. Everyone was double jabbed. But that is a video unto itself. Anyways, thank you once again, my friends. Peace, love, and blessings from the farm. Appreciate the gift that is each day. All these fine folks that you share your lives with, near and far. I'll see you in the next video. All right.